Anchor, so make sure that you check them out. They've got a MySpace page. It's Hope's Anchor Band, so make sure you check that out. They are also on iTunes, so you can download their music there, and they've got a CD, so do not forget to check that out. They're awesome, great guys, great testimony, and incredible music. It's been a lot of fun getting to hear them. And right now, in this hour, we get to talk with a couple of different authors and speakers from different backgrounds and different things that they specialize in. And right now, we have Rashid Brown. He's got a book called Careergonomics. That is a mouthful. It's a practical guide for mastering personal development and employment success. That is a big thing right now in the 21st century. So Careergonomics for the 21st century. Let me tell you a little bit about Rashid before we introduce him. He is an educator, lecturer, strategic speaker, business coach, presenter and facilitator. He has worked over 20 years as a management professional and is recognized by the National Registry of CPE sponsors of the National Association of the State Board of Accountancy. This means basically he's very smart and very talented, and we get to have him here on Atlanta Live. So welcome with me, Mr. Brown. Thank you so much for being here. And I told you accountant types and financial speakers are a whole nother animal. You guys are your own kind of person. You make my brain hurt, basically, because you're so smart and you have so much. We need you guys. You know, those of us like me that are not good with the numbers and all of that stuff need guys like you and gals like you that know this stuff. And so thank you so much for being here. I got to check out your website. You've got some great information on there, ways to connect with you and things like that. And so tell us what we've got going on here. What is this about?
What, Careergonomics? Wow. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. It's interesting because I spent quite a bit of time actually in corporate structures behind the scenes, running corporations, what they call Fortune 100, Fortune 500 corporations, which are large, oversee operations. And while I was there, my capacity was in training and development. So my main focus was to be able to develop the talent that would come into our corporations. Okay. So a lot of things that we had was we had a lot of employees and a lot of workers who came in that under my direct supervision, my responsibility was to develop the talent performance within an organization. And so that's how Careergonomics was born. Careergonomics is taken from two words, which is career and ergonomics. Ergonomics is what we call a science within the workplace that helps us to maximize potential to drive profitability. Amen. In other words, corporate profitability.
Right, and nobody wants to be in business if it's not going to be profitable.
Exactly, and most importantly, how do we achieve that? Through the people that we have, through what we call human capital. And so that's what Careergonomics is about. So as the economy started to shift and change, I started to see how careers are phasing in, they're phasing out. And I wanted to do something to be able to, help God's people to get positioned in this new economy. There's a lot of talk about green technology, about sustainability, about recyclable, energy technology, things of that nature. And so I wanted to, write something that would help people to kind of rethink that process. A lot of people have experienced a lot of job loss.
Oh, yeah.
And what they're finding is, as they're transitioning back into the workplace, that a lot of those old jobs that they used to have no longer exist. So I wanted to create something that would help them to understand, where to plant their talents, their skills, their abilities. What is the job market looking like?
Yeah.
What are those, high-moving jobs? What jobs are hot? What jobs are not? Things of that nature. So Careergonomics is packed with information to help people who want to rethink that process, who want to redefine, who want to repurpose, and what I like to call refaith their employment success, how to be able to do that.
And so some of the ones that, you've worked with some big names, corporations that many of us are familiar with, so you know what you're talking about. You've been in this environment and you've been doing this for a long time. And so what are some of the things, I know it seems like every time I turn around, I'm hearing somebody else say they lost their job.
Yes.
So let's just say that we've got a viewer out there and they've just found out they've gotten the pink slip for whatever reason.
Okay.
Their company's downsizing. What's the first thing? What's that thing that you would say, hey, this is a great thing. This is a first step. This is what you need to do. First thing, don't panic.
Exactly.
But a lot of times that's what happens.
Exactly.
So
I think one of the first things that people can do if that happens is to clarify their talents and their skills. And what I mean by that is everyone has certain skill sets. So everything's right now that employers are looking for are sets of skills. So it's not necessarily the work that you used to did. It's how do you take what you've done over the past years and how do you connect them in different job markets and job sectors. So everyone has skill sets. Mine has to be a financial skill set, an operational skill set, a management skill set, a organizational skill set. So the best thing that they can do is go back and do an assessment on what their skill sets are. There's free sites that are out there that will help them to kind of clarify, what are my skills, what are my talents, what are my abilities, and most importantly, how do those skill sets connect with different types of jobs? That's key, because that's going to open up the door to say, hey, I can plant myself in this market, I can go in this sector, this occupation, or this type of trade. So that's the first thing I would say. Definitely clarify what your skill sets are. Like I said, there's free assessments out there. There's different types there's myplan.com is a great one to be able to use. Another one has to do with, would have to be livecareer.com. Great sites for people to go to who needs what we call psychometric testing. In other words, how do we take a look at what our behaviors, our traits, our skill sets, and how do those relate to jobs? And these are free. Awesome. And most importantly, they're certified by a person who's a PhD, so there's some good stuff, right?
That's legit.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, awesome. That is so great, because I know that there are folks out there that they're just finding out now, or they've been out of the job market for a while. So now, if there's somebody that's been out of work for a while, 6 months, a year, they're struggling with things. What are some things you would suggest for them?
Well, I would definitely say is, there's a lot of national initiatives which are out that a lot of us don't quite yet understand. Initiatives that are teaching people to go back into what we call retrain and to upskill themselves. There's monies on the tables to help folks to go back who's been out of jobs. They call it different things. You can be moderate or you can be chronic. Chronic would be those individuals who have been out of work maybe for about 2 years, 3 years. I've kind of seen it all actually in my coaching capacity. And the main thing that they can do is coordinate actually with those organizations in their neighborhoods. There's a lot of organizations that have received a lot of what we call reinvestment monies, if you will. There's a lot of organizations that have received funds that has to do with TANFs funds and so on and so forth, which has been cascaded down to local agencies. So kind of identify those local agencies that are working to be able to help people to transition back into work. For those individuals who may be, facing situations with like losing homes because of unemployment. There's a wonderful initiative out which is called the HPRP, which is called the Homeless Prevention Re-Rapid Housing Initiative. And what this initiative does is help those individuals who have been out of work. Maybe you're taking a look at some issues of maybe losing a home or something of that nature. It's a program to help to keep people who are unemployed in their homes and help them to get back to work. So there's a lot of programs out here. The problem is a lot of folks don't know where to go to get it. Exactly,
because you're just going along and you're doing your job and life gets busy and you're paying the bills and then all of a sudden you've got to figure out what to do. And so, it's kind of like fishing in the dark. You have no idea where you're going and all that. And
Needle in a haystack type situation.
So I love that God has strategically placed you here and now and has given you the wisdom to put together a resource for folks to look to know that there is hope and there is help.
Yes, there is.
And you've put it into a really, really great, user-friendly package here for people. So I know I went to your website, but let us know because we're going to go to music here in just a minute. So I want to make sure that people have an opportunity to check out your website and find out more about the book. So give us some information on that, where they can get a copy of this, where they can find out more about your ministry and your speaking and what you do.
The best way they can do it actually is go to my website, which is www.rashid, RASHID, brown.com. The book, actually, they can get it in any from any bookseller. It's with Amazon, it's with Books A Million, it's in Borders, any place that you can purchase a book. It's in there. God allowed me to be able to strategically put this book out in a very, 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 very user-friendly way, and it's very affordable to anyone. And it's perfect from kids from the 6th grade on up. So,
awesome.
Yes.
And I know that people are having to get a little bit more creative in what they're doing. I heard not too long ago that 10 years ago, the job market looked one way.
Yes.
Even 20 years ago, people might work one job, have a career their whole life. Now
Exactly.
it's many careers within your lifetime.
Exactly.
And so when we come back after music, I would love for us to talk about that.
Fantastic.
Just really getting creative and realizing how much things have changed so that we can have realistic expectations.
Exactly.
Does that sound good?
Exactly.
Awesome. I'm so
Awesome.
glad that you're here. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
And right now, we're going to get to hear from Hope's Anchor again. They're going to sing Count on You. And when we come back, we'll be with Rashid Brown, who will talk more about career ergonomics. And don't forget that you can call the phone lines. We're praying for you. We want to let you know that we're here for you. And so call that number on your screen, 770-300.